I was a little confused on that whole thing with the loan and the June thing, 'cause the initial emails, nothing said anything about it. And it
We
wasn't.
had that fire, you know, we had that.
Yeah.
We had
Somebody
a
mentioned
fire department
that.
in Knox County that was
That was-
responding to the
I guess
Bill
I'll
Walk
find out
fire, and they got over there and it was
what all we're
on track in our place.
talking about. And
Is everybody ready?
Carolyn, have to-
Do I need to do gavel? I do the gavel. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the last meeting for the year for the Daviess County Council. Just to start off, before we get started, I probably do a little different. We'll do a roll call. So, you know, Tony is not with us today. I am here, Matt Meredith.
Tom Schaefer, present.
Darren Holder?
Marilyn McCullough?
Mike Myers.
All right, and we have Mike Sprinkle on the phone, correct, Mike?
Yes, I'm here.
So he'll be remote. At this time, we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. First of all, I want to give a little shout out here. We have one of our local guys who received a Halo Award with the Chamber of Commerce. So we want to acknowledge Tom. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, all the hard work you do for the community, we just want to acknowledge that. So
Thank you so
very
much.
All right. So meeting minutes. Everybody have a chance to look over those. And if we have, can I entertain a motion?
I move that we approve the minutes.
Second.
So we got Tom Schaefer made the motion and Mike Myers seconded the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, unanimous. All right, now we have Tracy. Good morning.
Thanks, guys. Morning. Morning. We made it. I didn't slide off the road.
That's good.
I didn't make any more work on you, that's for sure, so that was good. So what we're asking, Tracy Cook with the Powerhouse, we're asking $225,000 to go towards a new building on our property that we have now. Total project costs we're estimating between 1.3 and 1.6. The reason for the 1.6 extra is for maintenance that will go on for the building as we continue to grow. So overview of the Powerhouse for 22 years, which doesn't seem like it's been that long, but it has been for 22 years. We've been in Washington serving Daviess County, and our mission is to build relationships with youth to share the gospel. Our vision is to be the go-to resource for youth in the tri-state. For you that don't know, we have programs, after-school programs, our biggest program, that kids just walk down from the junior high and high school, which is 2 blocks, probably 3 blocks away. And that is the reason for keeping it on the property at this point. That location's really hard to beat for that. But every day our goal is just to see, build relationships with those teens so that we can share the gospel. We feed them a meal, and that doesn't stop usually on the weekdays, even though we're not open. We get many phone calls throughout the weekends for those meals also. New building is going to give us an opportunity to have a wide open space. If any of you have ever been in the Powerhouse now, obviously it's a house. So we've got 3 levels, lots of rooms, lots of doors, lots of crannies and nooks and places to go. And so with the new building, it's going to be wide open. That way, one person can really stand at the edge and see everything going on. So that frees up our staff and our volunteers to be able to build those relationships with teenagers more than what we can right now. It also lowers the amount of staff that we actually have to have just to be open each day, which is great because that just allows us to keep everything open and not have to shut off one area or the other on certain days. Jeff Owens with Tabor Owens is going to be our contractor for this. He's the one that gave us the dollars amounts. He put all that together, and we have drawings and stuff like that I'll show you guys in just a little bit. So far, we have raised without actually putting anything out in the community other than, a couple weeks ago when the paper ran something because we were at the commissioners meeting. We have raised 480,000, and that is without anything. No, I didn't add in what I've asked from you guys, obviously. So that's just community support and city support on that project. Our goal is to actually raise either all the money locally, and we're going to be applying for grants. So with your guys' support, with the city support, that helps us in grants because it shows that the community is behind us, and it really helps with the allocation so they can match what we've already raised, and that'll get us to our goal quickly. We'd like to be there by springtime with the amount raised, so that way we can get started on the project. So I've got this drawing, and then I'll be opening for questions if you have any. That's the front layer, and then we've got just a sketch of that. We also got like the building project drawings and stuff too from the outside and all that. If you guys would like to see that, I can. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So right now, we have a dining room table that fits 8, and we have about 50 kids coming in each day. So you can tell fitting 8 in a dining room table with 50 kids does create a little bit of problem. So we have a cafeteria in there that would suit our needs for that, plus with a little growth included in that also. There will be an upstairs to this. Anything not the gym will have an upstairs. That will not be finished at this point, but we have projects that are coming down the pike that would be able to do that. But we wanted to get that done first to feed our after-school program before we started on the upstairs project. We plan on keeping the house that we have now. I've been in talks with Judge Smith about some different projects that we can do just to continue to serve youth in our community. But we would need the space of the house for that. Thank you. Any questions?
I do have one, Tracy. Originally,
sir.
you put a request in for the ARPA funding, correct?
I was asked to go ahead and put that in there, yes, sir.
Okay, so, okay, I know, that committee is meeting and trying to figure out exactly how that process is gonna work.
Sure.
So, I didn't, that's one thing, with the commissioners making that decision. I'm not sure how long the process is gonna be because, with the ARPA fund, how is this gonna get funded? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I don't know if we can make that decision, today on that. But definitely, it's a great project. Anybody else have any questions for Tracy?
You said that you have approximately 50
Teens?
students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Are they the same 50 kids? How many total impact of?
Yeah, that's a good question, actually, because each day is different. There's obviously a core group, about 20 to 30. If everybody come throughout the week on the same day, it's about 80, 85.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was 6 when I first got there. We had some lean years there a couple times, and in 2 years, it's gone up that much. Yes, sir.
Do you get any people that come from outside of Washington?
Yes, every now and then. We also have some homeschoolers that come from outside of the city of Washington that get dropped off there. Yes, sir.
You've got 480,000 approximately raised already. You said a lot. I think a lot of that's from the city.
No, not a lot of. A lot of it's from private donors.
Okay. How about the city? How much have they committed to? And has that been approved by the city council yet?
Right. So that was actually approved by the mayor. And I'll let him discuss that as it comes out. Yeah.
Okay, but you haven't got anything from the city council then?
I got a
Pledge.
A pledge. Yes, sir.
Have they approved anything in a public meeting?
No, and I don't know if they have
The
to
answer I need.
on this money. I don't
That's
think
the
they
answer
have
I
to.
need.
Yeah.
So I don't think you really have anything lined up.
They don't have to
Directly
approve it
from-
on this money.
Right, from the city yet. You still gotta go through that
Yeah,
process
you
as
have-
well.
No, they don't have to approve of that money.
They don't have to approve that money?
Correct, from my knowledge. So I'll let the mayor
How
take
much,
care of
how
that.
much, how much is the city's portion that you got from the mayor then?
Right, that's to come out in the future. I don't want to be vague, but I'll let him let that out. Yes,
Sure, okay.
right.
Okay.
No, it's definitely a good project, and we're kind of figuring out the financing portion for the county.
Mhm.
We'll have discussion over that and where that should come from, if it's ARPA, if it's even if it's something else.
Correct.
So, we'll definitely take this into advisement. Appreciate you coming to
Yeah, I appreciate you guys
everything,
having
and
me.
And, you know, I'm gonna table it for now, and then we'll bring this back, and once we have a discussion on where that's coming from. But we appreciate it, thanks, Tracy.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, I'd request a motion to table this until we have a little bit more information where the funds are coming from.
So moved.
I'd maybe rephrase that a little bit.
Okay.
I would like to table it here and then refer it to the committee that's handling
Right.
the,
Well, we
Our-
have to wait for that first. So we'll table it here based on what we hear from the ARPA committee at that.
okay, that's how I'll phrase it then.
Yeah, sounds
Okay,
good.
Tom, you go ahead and do it then, Tom. You can have it.
So
I
Tom made
like
a
that.
motion, and Mike seconds the motion.
Second.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Next thing on the agenda is we have some nepotism and contract disclosure forms. We can do those after the meeting, can we not, Patty, so we don't? Okay. All right, and I have those here, so I'm sure everybody signs those before we go. Then we have additional appropriations. And we have the Health Department. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
Morning.
So between January and July of this year, the Health Department administered COVID vaccine on behalf of the State Department of Health. All of the billing was done through the State Department of Health. In that time period, we began billing in-house in July. So during that period, they billed for us, and we have received $108,575.56. That was receipted into our reimbursement for vaccine line in 1159, and I'm requesting a new line be created in 1159 for these specific vaccine admin fees. We use the reimbursement for vaccine to buy our normal vaccine, and because of COVID operations, we want to keep it separate because we're going to use this strictly for COVID. More vaccine administration, more needs. We're 90% of what we're doing currently, unfortunately, is COVID related. So that's my request today. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'll be back in January to ask for it again.
Okay, that was what I was gonna ask you, Kelly, thank you.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure that you understood and they understood that, whatever you spend between now and the end of the year, we'll do this appropriation, but the rest of it will go back into the cash line, and then it have to be a process, do the same thing again in January.
Unfortunately, I know I'll be a repeat next month, but we do have some costs, this month that we will need to bill from this. I'll be back.
And do we get reimbursed for this?
We already have been.
Already have been.
This is the
This
reimbursement.
is the reimbursement that's
Yeah.
coming in, we just need to approve it.
We can charge an administration fee for the vaccine, and that's what these fees are.
Okay,
It's already cash receipted into us from the state.
all right.
We're just approving that appropriation.
I move to approve then.
All right, motion by Tom,
Second?
second by Marilyn. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes unanimous. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Matt, real quick,
Yes.
speaking of awards, and it's not our county chamber it's awarding it, but Kelly is receiving an award tomorrow from the Knox County Chamber.
Awesome.
So I just wanted to recognize her work over there, so.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
You do a good job for two counties, so.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, we have Adult Protective Services. And this is the fund where we covered them until they got their grant. So all of these here under this, for the group health, investigative, extra-clerical, and equipment, makes that whole again? Is that correct? The equipment's not. Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. So the first three we could vote on, no problem, that way. So the first three just makes that grant whole again, you know, that we covered them until that point. And entertain a motion for that.
Move to approve these additional appropriations.
So moved by Mike Myers,
I'll second.
second. And all in favor?
Aye.
And unanimous. And we'll move on to the equipment. Gary Allison.
What's that equipment, is you talking about the?
This is the $3,150.
Okay. That, nope, that's 187. Well. Have you got it in front of you? What is the equipment listed? Because
Let's see.
yeah, let me see. Well, I don't have the receipt. Can't remember exactly what the $3,000 is. 1,150. It doesn't sound like.
Gary, yesterday when we were talking, I thought you said that that was, radio equipment.
That may be the radio equipment for the coroner. He wanted some 800 radios.
In our conversation yesterday, that's what
Yeah, that's what that is. If you got it, I don't, yeah, that wasn't part of 911. That's separate from the.
This is separate from the 911.
Right, yeah. This is separate from dispatch. So I believe that that is radios for the coroner and some pagers for Madison Township.
And is that not an allowable expense for the E911?
Yeah, it is. It's radio equipment.
Why wouldn't it be coming out of 911 then?
Yeah, this is coming out, this is an ask for rainy day.
That's why there was some confusion yesterday while I was talking to you about it.
Yeah, I thought that went in 911. And I don't have it in front of me. So we'll table it till next time. So I can find it.
Okay, so we'll make a motion to table this, $3,000 until.
1,150.
Yep. Till next meeting. Do you have a motion?
I move it. So moved.
From Tom?
Second.
Darvin, all right. Everybody in favor?
Yes.
Aye. All right, pass unanimous. Now we have the E911. $191,074.
That's for the radio equipment for the dispatch center. Taken some of that stuff that was in that original quote and divided it out into the CARES Act Relief Fund, which I now understand has another board that has to go that one. But the 191,000 is, that's for the radio equipment itself for the dispatch center.
Hey, Tom, ask Gary how close they're getting on getting the central dispatch up and running.
We got the equipment in. You guys should stop by and see it. The desk and that is in. They've been working on getting the radios installed. Again, our big hang-up is IDAX, and Julie started Monday, so she's getting her feet. That's why she's up here with me now. So she's I got a little sinus. Julie's problem. No longer my problem, but we're gonna get her through it and stop in and see it because it really looks great. I think they're gonna be really proud to be in there and working in that environment. IDAX is gonna be the big flow moving toward us.
And do they have a timeline on that?
I spoke to them, I spoke to one of the main people yesterday that we work with, to check on the status of that. He was not sure where we were at in the process. I believe the paperwork was filed in early November, right after I got the position, so we could get that started. I know the state, obviously with COVID, them working from home, they have a lot of backlog. He's told me things that we can do on our end to kind of, once we get what we need from them, to kind of move that along a little faster. So, working on those things, but he didn't have a timeline. He didn't really give us, there's things that have to happen, getting the equipment installed and all that. But as soon as we get that, move things along.
They've got the antennas installed on the building. Got a lot of the wiring ran, had to run electricity. That room was not on battery backup. So, and if you go through the jail, every plug that's red is on the battery backup, and there were no red plugs in there, so we had to have Daviess Electric come in, a bunch of red plugs in. That's all there. We're still waiting on Daviess to come in and hook all of it. Radio equipment's slowly coming in. And they've told me that there's one piece that makes it all work that's on a boat in the Pacific somewhere. So, and that'll be another hang up as to how long that takes to get here.
Right.
Working with IDAX is no easy feat, as Dale would tell you, because we've been trying since July to get me off Sparklight, and it got done yesterday. And we've been trying since July to get that done. So once I got the fiber in the jail, I got rid of Sparklight, because it can run off of the fiber just fine. But it took magic minutes and hours to accomplish in Indianapolis, Dale and Jeff. I got a lot of emails, which I gateway. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know why they're sending me this. It makes no sense to me. Yeah, so we got that done. But IDAX is they want a security schematic of the room. They want the network, the routing of the network. You can't see the screen. The public cannot see the screens. They're okay there, but they have to come down. So it's really high taxes. You know, like criminal histories. We have to sign a bunch of paperwork just to get a criminal history, but you can go online and look the same thing up. But if they figure out that somebody got criminal history through us, we're in trouble. It's kind of some stuff they have us do still. We're still living in the 1980s. But yeah, we just wanted to have an additional appropriation taken from the 911 funds put in and pay the radio equipment. And like I said, we went through and we cut about 10,500 out of that to pay our rainy day fund. And that is for their earphone, microphone headsets.
A screen to be at each dispatch terminal for people that come into the lobby whenever someone is not at the window at the city police or at the sheriff's office. It has a basically like an intercom, kind of like a Ring doorbell, so it can pop up to the dispatchers. So if somebody comes on station needing assistance, then they can help them.
They basically push that button. Now the city already installed theirs. City already got all that stuff, and they paid for that with their CARES Act. But the system we got will interface with. If you walk the city police department, you push a button. I need a city policeman. Dispatch can get you. Push the button. Deputy.
Gary, I think this is some of the confusion yesterday that we talked about, is terminology. And so when you're talking about the CARES Act money, and the paperwork was submitted under CARES Act, but CARES Act is actually, that money is in the rainy day fund. So that's where some of the confusion, we don't know if the 3,150, but that didn't match up with the 10,000 that was under the CARES Act paperwork. So that's where some of the confusion is coming.
Mm-hmm.
If we can get that cleared up, it'd be easy for them to know how to make the motion.
I'll try to figure that out. Cause I don't, off the top of my head, I can't tell you what that 3,000 was.
Well, that
I'm
was,
thinking it's for pagers, corner radios.
Yeah, if you could clarify that just to make sure before, not a big deal, but we just make
I
sure
get it.
we're,
I
yeah.
get it. I
Gotcha.
Ain't no problem.
Right.
Matt, is this the original amount that we had, or you on the committee had planned for us to spend in equipment?
Yeah, I mean, that's what, if you look at the ECS stuff that came in and the telex stuff, that's what the equipment was, and it was pretty much the price that they wanted. So everything was good there.
Yeah, and we went, like I said, we went through line by line, and we thought they got us some monitors. Like, well, we can go out to Walmart and pick up these monitors for so much, but then they got the warranty. And how we decided, you know, if they're gonna pay for the warranty, they're gonna install it. Another $1,000 wasn't that much.
Well, on that board, it was, you know, if you have any trouble at all, do you want everybody in the department running around or fixing it, or do you pay somebody to handle it that knows what's going on? And you know, they're on call, and that's what they do. And, you know, I'm sure Dale would love to help, but he's busy as what he wants to, and they need somebody just to come in and take care of that. So
I'm
that was
almost
not an issue.
positive it's got a 5-year warranty.
Yeah, it does. I think that's, we wanted to make sure everything was at least like 5 years, on
Right.
most of that equipment. Okay, motion for that appropriation. For the,
motion.
Marilyn, makes the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Tom seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
And it's unanimous. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, and some of that
Welcome,
stuff I
Julie.
paid out of my budget, like Daviess Electric to run the wiring, and had RTC in a few times to run other wires, and I put LED lighting in there that'll dim, and painted it, and put some soundproofing in there. Stop in.
Thank you.
You, Gary.
Yes.
Next thing on the agenda is the West Bogs. If you've looked through that, that's their labor, social security, building repair, all the road improvement and everything, that's in their budget, so that's really a no-brainer here. Can I have a motion?
I move to approve.
All right, do I have a second?
Second.
Mike Meyer seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Thank you. And then the CARES Act, that was where we just talked with we tabled that one. So. Now to transfers. So we have County General 4D. So they're going from, in research to office supplies. And do we know exactly what that is? So they're switching that to office supplies. No detail. Yeah. Like, that's cool. Thoughts?
Is there, I'm new to this, is there, the form that's filled out, do they not have to be specific on the form about what it's going to be for, or it can be general and it?
It should be specific
I think if we send it back, it'll be specific next time.
Yeah, it just says replenish office supplies, is all it says.
Oh, yeah, it just.
And they're just trying to make that.
The only caution that I throw out there is this is your last meeting of the year.
So we won't have
There
this.
is something that is been ordered or has the expectation that he has to have that money for whatever reason. There may be a legitimate, and
Expense that he had.
that's my only point. There's not an opportunity to come back and to fix it for the council to approve.
I'm gonna move that we approve it
Sure.
then.
A future reference to being more specific,
Yep.
You know, you
Right.
have all next year to
Right.
do that, but
Can we,
Move that we approve with a caveat that we get more description in the future.
sounds good. So we got a motion, and then.
I'll second.
Tom seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. Is that something we can request if it's vague from now on, that we want some detail?
we'll be happy to send
To the
out
council.
to all of them, if that's your recommendation or your directive, we'll pass that on to them as they turn it in, that they need to be specific so that you can review it ahead of time.
That would be
We can
great.
do that for you.
I
Everybody
think
in
that's an
agreement with
issue
that?
we've had in the past, times, different departments, ask for more.
Is everybody in agreement, that's what we
Yes.
want? Okay,
Yes,
very good.
absolutely.
Thank you very much. All right, then we have County General Commissioners, that's, for paper, copy paper for the rest of the year. So that is $2,000.
Move to approve.
So moved by Mike Myers,
Second?
second by Tom Schaefer, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. And then we have County General Circuit Court, from travel mileage to office machines, that's 2,306.18, and then from pettit jurors to office machines, 4,000. They did, if you look at the bottom, from Becker McPherson, we used to have one of those copy machines as well, and you cannot get parts for that thing. So I absolutely understand where they're coming from there, so that needs done, and he's bought some computers, right, Dale? So they're already on order for that, so that's the office machines in that.
Motion to approve?
All right, Marilyn makes the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, Mr. Holders is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed unanimously. All right, so we have Community Corrections, Project Income. Good morning.
And always have, so.
Appreciate that, thank you.
With everything, with the 6-month and 6-month thing this year, and having things, it all didn't kind of balance out at the end. So, but luckily, with Jen and Misty's help, while I was in Texas, we worked through this and got all these done and sent up here for you guys, so that we can cover the second payroll for December, including Julie's last check for our office. So, as you can see, each one of them are for different categories for either myself, Julie's position, and Laura's, so, for payroll. So, each one of those are from funding from appropriations that we already had and just moving them into that, so those.
What is the total of those? Have that?
I have no idea, Tom, I'm sorry. They're all coming out of different categories.
Yeah, they're all kind of,
Yeah, they're all coming out of different categories. I was playing around where the dollars were to try to fix it, so that they were all there, so.
4,200 or something like that.
A lot of vehicle supplies, program supplies, office supplies, some out of maintenance contracts, program supplies, and travel mileage.
And my understanding is you've worked really closely with the auditor's
Yes.
department, so we
Yes.
could fulfill payroll obligations through the end of the year. And so we've moved stuff out of here
Yes,
to fulfill those obligations.
correct,
All right,
right,
good.
exactly.
This is all project income, so
Right.
Yes.
this is all, they have the cash balance, the cash is there. We just need the appropriation in the correct line so that we do not have anything in the red at the end of the year.
Okay.
Yep.
I would move to approve each of these transfers.
All right, as total, Mike Myers makes a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second?
Marilyn makes a second. All in favor?
hey,
Unanimous? Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. All right, in your packet, you have information on the Board of Aviation and an engineer's report for your review. We do have some things to sign at the end of the meeting here. Does anybody have anything else, anything from the public before? Yes, go ahead.
The equipment, that's the 3,100.
Yes.
If you want to bring it back, because it has absolutely nothing to do with radio. That is for the push-button system that was installed in this building and that building, and we tried to make Diane's bunch down there work, but it needs another repair. It won't reach. The distance is too far. So, I believe that system was paid for out of rainy day. And, that That's what that's for. That's to make her push button system down there because it won't reach. It's out of the
So
range.
it's a repeater.
It's a repeater.
Okay. Based on that information, do we want to make a motion to approve?
So moved. The system has been installed. We're just waiting on that repeater for Diane. But
Gotcha. So moved by Mike, second.
Second.
Mr. Holder.
you probably got buttons in here.
All in favor?
Thanks.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes unanimously.
Do you want to do anything, Matt, on the gym equipment that
That'll have to come
Clarifying that, Gary.
to the meeting.
Thanks for
That
clarifying.
was something that they wanted to do, but they haven't presented. You know what I'm
Come through
saying?
on an agenda.
They kind of
that's
want,
not on the agenda?
yeah.
Well, that money will be gone then or not? No, it won't, okay.
He'll bring it to probably one of the first meetings if he wants to do that, right?
So,
Or he doesn't have to for that.
So, depending on, the fund, there's always, at the end of the year, and if you guys in council have any questions on that, with the end of the year, some of the money goes back into the original cash balance lines. We have funds that are called non-reverting funds, so they stay within that category. If they were budgeted, then they have the authorization to spend next year. If not, then they'll have to go through the appropriation process. But some funds, and that is one that I believe does not have to be appropriated, but we can confirm that, but we'll have to get that information and confirm, and we can pass it on to you. We're happy to do that. When we get the information, we can confirm with you.
All right,
Okay.
sounds good. Yeah, I think that's something. Well, why don't we talk about that, just so everybody knows, and it's on public record what that is. We can discuss that, we know, that gym and stuff, that plan?
I'd say yes.
Yeah, if Marilyn and Tom visited that, there was, this is for the county sheriff's department and the city officers for a workout facility.
Training and workout.
Yeah, and I know there were some emails passed, but we should cover it here in public, and so would somebody like to kind of,
Yeah, last, when did we go?
Monday?
Monday.
Last Monday, Marilyn and I went out to the new Destination Yacht Building, former Boyd Trucking, I guess, on the highway there. Went to look at the facility, specifically the basement area, which was previously a gym. Of course, it's all been, no equipment in there now, but it does have the showers and restrooms there. It has the floor, special design floor for for gymnasiums. And it does look like a good facility. My feeling initially was, and I talked to the sheriff about it, was to keep it in the basement here at the jail, but I do realize.
We already had that facility, so.
Yeah, I did realize that we have some issues with possible COVID, with,
But on that, my workout area is in the basement, and some people don't mind, some people do. There's usually inmates over doing laundry, and they don't like to be watched, and that can't change. I mean, they're gonna be there usually. And there's lots of options out there. Some belong to the water, some belong to the place, Anytime Fitness. And some people use my spot down in the basement if that probably watch. Some it does. So that's all I have on that.
Thanks, Gary.
Yep.
I think Dan Murray does have some non-taxpayer money that he would like to contribute to buy new equipment and upgrade equipment, that kind of thing. Marilyn talked about liability issues. I did discuss that with Dan in an email, and he said that they would be able to get that taken care of with the help of Grant, working on some legal language, I guess, to do it. He said he would get with you on it. It's pretty premature at this point. I think that's why it hasn't been put on the agenda yet.
Right.
But basically, we wanted to see the facility. The facility does look nice, and we have a few questions about ownership, that kind of stuff, and liability. And convenience, actually, was a thing. I mean, and also the retaining ownership of the equipment should the thing fall through in the
Sure.
future.
I think it's just good information to have for everybody.
So I get, it all started with the money itself,
Yes.
in terms that it's forfeiture money, and that it's money, it's not taxpayer money, that it could be used, and theoretically be used something for the community. In this case, we can use it for our law enforcement. I guess the only other question I have, and then long-term, is there a lease or a potential lease or whatever that would have to be paid outside of this year, or whenever, if it would potentially be stood up, if we're gonna retain it for long-term, is there any other lease fees or anything that we're gonna have to pay?
I think that's what they're determining now,
Yeah.
and that's what they'll bring to us for the
Okay,
final.
okay.
So I think this was just an idea, and everybody went out and took a look, and this is just good information to have for everybody, so we can make that informed decision when they bring it to us.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely, we'll get that answered. Good. Anything else from the public?
I'll just take this opportunity at the end of the year. I just want to commend, you've heard this morning several people, Diana in particular, talk about the auditor staff, and I just want to commend them for the end of the year with trying to make sure that all the Ts are crossed and the Is are dotted, and we work closely with every department. So there's a lot of time and effort being put into tracking the accounting of end of the year so that we're in good standing. And then the other little thing that I'll share with you is that this is how it kind of goes in the auditor's office sometimes, but we had one instance yesterday where we helped a taxpayer save. There was an error that was discovered. My office discovered it, and we saved this gentleman $3,000 on that. But he was very upset with us yesterday and is going to report us to the prosecutor, so.
It's a
But
thank
our
you.
office just deals, I just want to share that with you.
Thanks for saving me money.
$1,000.
So my office, you know, they work hard, and they are working hard for the taxpayers as well as for all the boards and all the departments. So we just appreciate the help that we get too, but I just want to commend them publicly and thank them.
Well, definitely is an asset. I know I've used your office many a time for lots of questions, and they still answer the call, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much for all the time that you give me and everyone else here on the council. So.
And you didn't have to report them to the
I didn't
prosecutor?
have to report them to prosecutors. That's good. Anything else? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Mike?
Second.
Tom seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it. Have a great holiday season. I have papers to sign, and both of those. We'll just take one and pass it down.
All right.
These will be-